All right, let's talk about something most of us are probably holding in our hands right now: our phones. Today, we're going to dive into the future of content addiction and try to answer one huge question: why in the world are we all so hooked?
And it's a question we probably should be asking ourselves a lot more often. I mean, we use our phones when we're bored, obviously, but also in moments we really shouldn't be. It's become this total reflex. How did this compulsion get its hooks in us so darn fast? I mean, think about this. Back in 2007, the first iPhone was just a tool, right? You'd use it for calls, texts, maybe a super simple game. Fast forward to today, and we're driven by this constant impulse to just mindlessly scroll through these infinite feeds. In just a little over a decade, our whole relationship with this device has been completely flipped on its head. And this habit, it goes deep. It's not just about killing time anymore. We pull out our phones at concerts, right in the middle of dinner, when we're with our families. How many times have you found yourself just opening an app without even consciously deciding to do it?
Okay, so here's the kicker, the crucial point. None of this is an accident. This constant urge we feel, it's the result of some very, very intentional design. It is literally designed to get us and keep us hooked.
This quote from our source really says it all. There is an army of people whose entire job, day in and day out, is to keep you scrolling. Social media companies know exactly how our brains work, and believe me, they use that knowledge to their full advantage.
And one of their most powerful tools? Something called the slot machine mechanism. You know, when you pull down to refresh your feed, you're basically pulling the lever on a slot machine. You have no idea what you're going to get. Maybe it's an amazing video, maybe it's absolutely nothing. It's that unpredictable reward that makes gambling so addictive. And yeah, it's built right into the apps you use every single day.
So, when you boil it all down, the goal is super simple: keep you on the platform for as long as possible. And the method? They engineer these little habits that you don't even realize you're forming. That urge to check your phone first thing when you wake up, that mindless little tap on an app icon, it's not random. It is all by design. Now, at the very heart of this whole manipulation is a brain chemical you've definitely heard of: dopamine. But, and this is a big but, it turns out there's a massive, widespread conception about what dopamine actually does.
We always hear dopamine called the pleasure chemical, right? Like you get a reward and boom, your brain releases it. But that's not quite right. Its main job isn't really about pleasure. It's all about the pursuit.
Think of dopamine as the hunting chemical. It's not released when you finally get the reward. It's released during the hunt. Its job is to make the act of seeking, of searching, feel exciting and incredibly important.
And that's exactly why social media is so powerful. It puts our brains into a state of a constant, never-ending hunt. We are always in pursuit of the next funny video, the next interesting post, and that endless seeking just keeps our dopamine system firing in all cylinders.
Okay, so now we get the mechanism. We see how it works. But where's all this leading? Well, according to our source, this constant digital hunt for content is pushing all of us towards a huge fork in the road with two very, very different possible futures. This gets to this idea of our dopamine baseline. Think of it like a tolerance level for satisfaction. Before our phones were everywhere, simple things, like taking a walk, could feel pretty stimulating. But now our brains are so used to these bigger, faster hits of digital novelty that those quieter, real-world moments can start to feel, well, kind of boring. And the result of that rising baseline is, honestly, pretty sobering. For a lot of people, just day-to-day life without that constant stream of stimulation has become almost unbearable. Simple silence feels empty. We feel like we need noise in the background, something to watch while we're watching something else. And here's the part that is just absolutely stunning. This massive society-wide shift has happened in just 16 years. That's it. We are only 16 years into this whole smartphone era. Just try to imagine where we'll be in another 50 if this trend keeps going. So this brings us to our two futures. The first one is kind of dystopian. It's a world where our baselines for stimulation just keep rising and rising until reality itself just becomes uninteresting. But the second, more hopeful path involves us recognizing this whole thing and actively choosing to turn back towards genuine, real-world connection. Now, the good news is there are actually signs that we might already be starting to choose that second, more hopeful path. We're starting to see a real pushback.
I mean, just think about the recent explosion of podcasts and these super long form interviews. Content that is unpolished, it's conversational, it's real, and it's getting huge traction. People are actively choosing to spend hours of their time just listening to genuine human conversation. So, why is this happening now? Well, it's because it taps into a deep, fundamental human need. We all crave genuine social connection. And this is a need that modern social media has really stopped fulfilling. I mean, way back in the early days, it was a tool to connect us. But when companies figured out they could profit from our psychology, the goal shifted from giving us connection to just giving us the false feeling of it. But here's the thing. People are waking up to this. There's this growing exhaustion from just being fed an endless stream of shallow content. And we're starting to see this collective step back, this search for something more real. And this all leads to the final and really provocative question posed by the source. Because if we continue down this path, our children are the ones who will inherit the consequences. So we really have to ask ourselves, what do we value more? The apps on our phone or a better future for them? It's a pretty powerful question to reflect on.